The Santa Rosa Hitchhiker Murders, a true story of California's coastal curse. In the early 1970s, the idyllic wine country of Santa Rosa, California, became a killing ground for a serial killer targeting young female hitchhikers. Between 1972 and 1973, at least 7 girls and women, aged 12 to 23, were abducted, strangled, or stabbed, and dumped in rural creeks, embankments, or wooded areas along Sonoma County's highways. Known as the Santa Rosa Hitchhiker Murders, these cases remain unsolved, with no definitive suspect despite decades of investigation. The killer's ability to prey on a counterculture embracing free-spirited travel left a scar on California's pastoral heart. Who was this predator stalking the roads of Sonoma County, and why have these murders lingered in obscurity? The Santa Rosa Hitchhiker Murders are a chilling mystery, a dark echo of a carefree era turned deadly. The terror began on February 4, 1972, when Yvonne Weber, 13, and Maureen Sterling, 12, vanished while hitchhiking from Santa Rosa to Sebastopol. Their skeletal remains were found 10 months later in a creek bed off Franz Valley Road, bound with cord and showing signs of strangulation. On December 14, 1972, Lori Lee Coase, 13, disappeared after leaving a Santa Rosa market. Her body, strangled and unbound, was found 2 weeks later in a ravine. On July 31, 1973, Carolyn Davis, 15, was abducted from Highway 101. Her body, poisoned with strychnine, appeared near Weber's site. The killings continued. Teresa Walsh, 23, vanished on December 22, 1973, while hitchhiking from Malibu to Santa Rosa. Her body, strangled and hog-tied, was found in Mark West Creek. 2 Jane Does, both estimated 16 to 21, were discovered in 1973. One near Calistoga Road, stabbed and bound, and another off Enterprise Road, strangled with wire. All victims were hitchhikers, often last seen on Highway 101 or near Santa Rosa's ramps, their bodies dumped in remote but accessible spots. The Sonoma County Sheriff's Office linked the 7 cases through method and location, suspecting a single killer. The victims, mostly white, shared a free-spirited profile, runaways or teens embracing the 1970s hitchhiking culture. The killer used cords, wires, or clothing to bind or strangle, leaving no fingerprints or DNA. Dump sites, like Franz Valley or Wright Roads, were rural yet near highways, suggesting a driver familiar with backroads. No witnesses saw abductions, and the area's transient hippie population complicated tracing leads. Investigators chased numerous suspects. Ted Bundy was briefly considered as he visited California, but his timeline and methods didn't align. The Zodiac Killer, active nearby, was another theory, but his cryptic letters and victim profiles differed. A local man, Arthur Lee Allen, a Zodiac suspect, lived in Santa Rosa and owned similar cords, but no evidence linked him. In 2011, DNA from a Jane Doe's clothing was tested, but no matches emerged, and degraded evidence stalled further tests. A 1970s trucker, known for assaults, was questioned but cleared by alibis. The case's grim details deepen its horror. The killer bound victims tightly, suggesting control or sadism, and varied methods, strangulation, stabbing, poisoning, showed adaptability. Bodies were often nude, with personal items like rings or earrings missing, hinting at trophies. The Jane Does had unique traits, a healed fracture, a tattoo, but remain unidentified, likely runaways unreported. A survivor from a 1972 attack described a man, 30s, driving a van, offering a ride before attempting to choke her, but her vague sketch led nowhere. Systemic issues hampered the case. Santa Rosa's small sheriff's department lacked serial killer expertise, and the 1970s counterculture normalized hitchhiking, delaying missing persons reports. Police initially dismissed victims as drifters, reflecting bias against runaways. Evidence, like cords or Walsh's clothing, was lost in storage, and early autopsies missed key details. Media coverage, focused on Zodiac or Manson, gave the murders little attention, and families, like Sterling's, searched alone, shunned by authorities. Theories range from a local predator to a transient, possibly a trucker or commune member, exploiting Highway 101's flow. Some link the murders to other California cases, like the 1970s Keddy killings, but no evidence connects them. The killings stopped after 1973, suggesting the killer died, was jailed, or left. Oregon reported similar cases in 1974. The true victim count may be higher, as hitchhiker disappearances were underreported. The Santa Rosa hitchhiker murders reshaped Sonoma County. Hitchhiking, once a hippie staple, became taboo, and parents tightened oversight. Families of victims, led by Coase's mother, erected roadside memorials holding annual walks. The case, featured in a 2018 podcast and 2020 blog series, spurred a 2019 Sheriff's Cold Case Unit, but funding limits progress. Highway 101, winding through vineyards, carries a somber weight. Today, the Santa Rosa hitchhiker murders remain unsolved, with at least 7 victims and no justice served. Santa Rosa's creeks and hills, lush with redwoods, hide a killer's legacy. Was it a local, a drifter, or a system that failed the young? The cords that bound these girls tie a mystery that California's coast cannot unravel. If you enjoyed this videos, follow me, like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you.